Hello, I'm James Ezimoha. Welcome to Africa News, where we bring you the latest updates from across the African continent. Let's see your headlines. Activists from Tunisia and Algeria attempting to reach Gaza by land halted by Libyan authorities. Nigerian authorities seized 76 vessels involved in oil theft in the country. A Kenyan court has sentenced 2 men to 30 years in prison for their role in the 2019 terrorist attack in Nairobi. Thank you for joining us. Hundreds of activists from Tunisia and Algeria have returned home after their land convoy to Gaza was halted by Libyan authorities. Though they didn't reach their destination, organizers say the mission succeeded in drawing international attention to the Gaza blockade.
The so-called convoy of steadfastness was met with celebration on Thursday night, as supporters in Tunis lined the streets to welcome activists back from a symbolic mission to Gaza. The convoy, of about 1,750 participants, aimed to deliver a show of solidarity, but was blocked in eastern Libya before reaching Egypt's Rafah crossing. Still, supporters hailed the mission for uniting North Africans behind the Palestinian cause and highlighting the ongoing blockade. Organisers and participants say the convoy was forced return after numerous violations and restrictions.
Our convoy was stopped by force of arms, not by force of regulations or the law. Today we returned after being subjected to numerous violations and many restrictions. We didn't reach Rafah, and we didn't break the siege, but we felt that, emotionally and symbolically, we went far beyond Rafah. We reached the whole world. We sent strong messages, and we participated in raising awareness about the blockade and the need to break it.
Many of those on board spoke of shared hardship and unity forged during the long journey through North Africa.
I participated in the convoy of steadfastness because I believed in it. I believed in its objectives and its potential to unite Arab nations and unite the Maghreb. I faced hardships and we were subjected to harassment, but we acted like a small family, united as one.
The convoy's return comes amid soaring Middle East tensions following Israel's offensive in Gaza that has killed nearly 55,000 Palestinians, most of them civilians, according to local health officials. The activists say their next goal is to organise another attempt, this time with broader regional support.
Naval authorities in Nigeria say they have seized 76 vessels involved in oil theft in the country. More than 200 people suspected to be involved in oil theft have also been arrested. Our correspondent Tasema Kande reports from Jos, Nigeria.
Nigeria's Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala said the arrest happened over a 2-year period beginning June 2023. Nigeria's naval chief also said his team destroyed more than 800 illegal oil refining sites. According to him, the theft from pipelines and wells has severely affected the country's oil sector, leading to a loss of revenue and hampering exports. Last year, Nigeria's House of Representatives said the country lost over $10 billion to oil theft in 10 years. Nigerian naval authorities say they will continue patrols and ensure they win the fight against oil theft and pipeline vandalism. Boats, ships and helicopters are being used in this crackdown. In January, officials also began verification of oil cargoes at the country's 5 major export terminals. Crude oil accounts for about 90% of Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings. Tassim Akendi for A News in Jos.
Nigeria has received 119 Benin bronzes from the Netherlands in a major restitution of looted cultural treasures. The artifacts were seized by British forces in 1897 during the colonial invasion of the Benin Kingdom. The return is part of Nigeria's broader push to reclaim its stolen heritage.
The Netherlands has returned 119 Benin bronzes to Nigeria, one of the largest handovers yet of artifacts looted during the colonial era. Dutch officials say research confirmed the bronzes were unlawfully taken during the 1897 British raid on Benin City. The bronzes, crafted between the 13th and 18th centuries, represent some of Africa's most treasured art. 4 will be housed in Lagos, while the rest will go to a facility in Benin City. The Dutch Consul General in Lagos says the return follows official guidelines on the restitution of colonial-era objects.
This fits in exactly with our policy. We have a policy on basically, let's say, art that was stolen in colonial eras. I think with the Benin bronzes, we know what happened to them. We know why they were taken out of Nigeria, when they were taken out of Nigeria. So when you do the analysis, when you do the study, and that has been done in the Netherlands also of this collection, the provenance of these objects, it was time for us to bring them back. And that is what the Dutch policy says. If it's very clear that objects are stolen, taken under distress, then obviously we will return them to the rightful owner. It's private individuals who have bronzes, then it's up to them to do that. Maybe some private museums have bronzes. This is from the Dutch government collection.
More than a century after their removal, the return of the bronzes signals growing international resolve to address colonial injustices through restitution. Nigeria continues to press museums and governments worldwide to surrender hundreds more of its looted artifacts.
Still in Nigeria, a company has launched a new factory to produce millions of HIV and malaria test kits each year. The move follows reduced U.S. foreign assistance that had supported disease control in countries like Nigeria. Codex Bio says it can now meet local demand and hopes to expand across the region.
Nigerian diagnostics firm Codex Bio is set to manufacture 147 million HIV and malaria test kits annually at its new Lagos plant. The initiative follows major funding cuts from USAID and PEPFAR, which previously supplied millions of diagnostic kits across Nigeria. Codex Bio, partnering with South Korea's SD Biosensor and backed by the World Health Organization, is stepping in to fill that gap. The company says Codex Bio has enough capacity to meet Nigeria's needs and more.
From the statistics of what is supplied for a specific year, program year, I would say, 23-24, looking at that and matching what we have currently in capacity for Nigeria, we have enough capacity to meet up the demand. So if we scale up, that means we would meet beyond what Nigeria requires. We can go to West and Sub-Saharan Africa, including other African countries. Focus was also for us to be able to play in the field of supply of rapid diagnostic test kits for donor agencies, which particularly USAID was on the forefront, Global Funds, UNITAID, sustaining local manufacturing in Africa, taking a cue from the incident of COVID-19 when it happened. You know, Africa was almost like left out, and we wouldn't want that to repeat itself.
According to WHO, Nigeria has the world's highest malaria burden and the 4th highest number of people living with HIV. Codex Bio's facility, with an annual capacity of 147 million kits, aims to support testing needs in Nigeria and across sub-Saharan Africa, following reduced US donor support.
10 endangered black rhinos have been relocated from South Africa to Mozambique's Zinave National Park. The move marks the country's biggest rhino reintroduction in decades. Conservationists say it's a turning point in efforts to restore biodiversity in the country.
10 critically endangered black rhinos have been successfully relocated to Mozambique's Zinave National Park, nearly doubling its current population. Conservationists say Mozambique had fewer than 20 black rhinos left, and reintroducing them into well-protected areas is key to their survival. The transfer, supported by Peace Parks Foundation, involved a 48-hour journey from South Africa, with each animal dehorned for safety. Officials who helped lead the operation say the goal is to give surplus animals a future in safer terrain.
So sadly in Mozambique there are very few black rhinos, less than 20. So South Africa has a good population, a healthy population of black rhinos. And one of our main goals at the moment is to try and move some excess animals from South Africa to the well-protected park in Mozambique called Zanav. They have, I think, 10 or 12 black rhinos. With the movement of these 10, we're almost going to double the park's population.
Mozambique's proudly the first Big Five national park in Mozambique now. We've already got 27 white rhino and 12 black rhino. To have a viable population that can increase in numbers and thus potentially repopulate other parks in Mozambique. But the scientists say we need somewhere around 15 plus, 16 plus. So these additional 10 rhino will bring us to no more than 20. And with that, it's a viable breeding population from both size and genetic variety. We hope that in future years we can start repopulating other conservation areas in the country.
Black rhinos are among the most endangered large mammals, with fewer than 6,500 remaining globally. Experts say establishing regional strongholds like Zinav is vital to reversing decades of population decline and poaching.
A Kenyan court has sentenced 2 men to 30 years in prison for their role in the 2019 terrorist attack in Nairobi. The assault on the Dassault Hotel and Office complex left 21 people dead. The convicts were found guilty of helping Al-Shabaab militants with forged IDs and financial support.
2 Kenyan men have been handed 30-year sentences for aiding the 2019 Al-Shabaab attack on the Dusit D2 complex in Nairobi, which left 21 people dead. The court found Hussein Mohammed Abdile and Mohammed Abdi Ali guilty of conspiring with attackers, helping them obtain fake student IDs and providing financial support. The attack involved a siege that lasted over 12 hours. Delivering the ruling, the judge said the 2 convicts played a critical role in enabling the assault.
Had the convicts not facilitated the terrorists, the attack would not have occurred. Had the first convict not facilitated the procurement of false student identity cards, the 2 terrorists would not have easily traveled from Dagdale refugee camp to Nairobi without detection. Similarly, terrorists need money and people to commit offenses. They need finances for their activities, for planning and survival. Had the second convict not facilitated the funds, the attackers would not have been able to sustain themselves in Nairobi, a very expensive city. The first convict, Hussein Mohammed Abdile, is sentenced to 15 years imprisonment for the offense of conspiracy to commit an offense contrary to Section 23(2) as read with Section 23(4) of Porter. B. The first convict, Hussein Mohammed Abdile, is sentenced to 15 years imprisonment for the offense of facilitating a terrorist act contrary to Section 9A of Porter. The 2 sentences shall run consecutively. Cumulatively, the first convict shall serve 30 years imprisonment from the date of his arrest.
The sentencing marks one of Kenya's most high-profile terror-related convictions since the 2019 attack. Both men have 14 days to appeal as the country continues its broader fight against Al-Shabaab's cross-border operations.
Well, that's all we have today in Africa News. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to A News.